Okay, close your eyes. Deep breath in. Think about expanding your ribs to either side of the room. And on your exhale, deep sigh out. See if you can sigh to the count of 3, 2, 1. Inhale, deep breath in, filling all the way up to your collarbones. On your exhale, collarbones through your ribs, down to your low belly. Inhale to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at empty. And if this breath cadence works for you, keep continuing in this pattern. Otherwise, find a pattern that serves you and your body.
Welcome to Worst Impressions. I'm your host, Eric Anderson, and we've got a super awesome show for you. Some would call me possibly homosexual, but I'd maybe deny that, depending on who you talk to. I've got somebody very awesome in the studio for the first time ever, Miss Emilie Harris.
Hi. So glad to be here.
How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. Yeah.
Okay. Were you nervous about coming here?
I'm mostly nervous that I'll be really boring and that everybody will stop listening to the episode halfway through. But I also kind of feel like, fuck it. Like, if it's not my business what you think of me.
Exactly. Go fuck yourself.
It's on brand.
Literally. Seriously, go fuck yourself. If you find her boring, get out.
This is the end of the episode.
We're actually wrapping it up right now. This is over. Okay, this is your first time here in the studio, and we're on video, so we gotta get to know you. Let's start from the very beginning. How were you conceived? Was it traditional?
I'm sure. I don't. Did you ever hear your parents doing it growing up? We'll just jump right in.
Yeah. Well, okay. So parents is a loose term. Did I hear two adults having sex? Maybe. Parents, not so much.
You're like, whoever was in that IVF facility, they were getting it on.
Okay. So traditional, probably missionary. We'll move on. Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up. My family lived. I don't know. Somewhere.
We lived in a hole. Under the ocean.
Honestly. Yeah, maybe. If you could, we'll get into aliens later.
Hell yeah.
But no, so my parents have always lived in Waco. And so we were kind of in a few different places. But then when I was starting kindergarten, my parents, they built a nice house in China Spring because they wanted us to go to a nice school district. And it's kind of funny because they thought they were done having kids after me and my sister. So they built this like custom house in the country. And
Like
as
for that amount of people.
yes.
Right.
And then as they were building it, my mom found out she was pregnant with my brother. Yeah.
So this
intrigue. So all that's not even what you asked, but yeah,
Nice.
I mostly grew up in China Spring. I moved there I'm like Jen, who was on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Call back.
I'm a fan. I'm a WIMP.
WIMP Nation.
I was in the K through 12 picture at
Dude,
China Spring.
I still haven't found it. I can't find my yearbook.
I have no idea where my yearbook is.
Yeah. I definitely wasn't in the picture, so I'm not in a hurry to
when
find
did
it.
you move to China Spring?
First grade.
Oh,
So I started first grade. Yeah, and of course, so everybody like it didn't matter that I started in first grade unless I had to be a kindergartner for it to count. So
You could have slipped in to the
cool.
pick.
I know. Yeah, that whole situation was weird. We were like escaping something kind of. So we found like
and we've gotten to the aliens.
We were escaping aliens.
Yeah.
It was like a dangerous, reckless alien named my father. But yes, and we found like a small spot to rent way out in the back of China Spring, and
I lived in the back of China Spring.
Yeah, by the dairy farm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't live over there, but I knew somebody who did. I lived over like way in the back. We had no neighbors, and it's actually funny. Like I was a really weird little kid. I'm a really weird adult too, but
that tracks.
And I hid it for a short period of time in high school, which I regret. But
yeah, dude. Okay, yeah, we'll get.
But
we'll get
all
into
that to
the
say,
high school
I was when we moved into our new house, we had no neighbors other than the people who lived like directly next door to us was this really old couple. So my best friend, literally until the end of first grade, was this like 89-year-old man who lived next door. Why my parents didn't think that was problematic,
wildly
I don't
inappropriate.
know. But we were buddies. I would like go over there every day. We would hang out in his shop. We would like tinker with stuff together. Yeah, it was just like, and that's also why I had like actually no friends until second grade. I had one friend in kindergarten and we were in different classes in first grade. And I think my parents were like really scared of what I was going to become.
I was the kid. I didn't have problem making. I didn't have problem. I didn't have problems making friends. But I was the kid, like, for instance, Halloween, first grade at China Spring, I would like every single boy in my class was an army man, and I did not get that memo because I show up, I'm like, hi, I'm a guy from Hawaii, and I just wore like a flower shirt and a lei and like a Hawaiian like luau like
you know
hat.
what? It's so funny you say this. I think I remember this picture.
Probably. Were you in Miss Moore's class?
No, I was not.
Okay.
But I feel like I've seen this is so random, and maybe it's like just the simulation glitching, but I feel like I've seen like
oh my
you
God.
as a kid in Hawaiian garb in like a class photo.
You know, I've always been like the fat guy Hawaiian trope since like I was 4 years old. And like no one told me, it's like, hey, that's kind of like an old guy trope. It's like, I'm loving it.
You're like, it's not a phase, it's the real me.
I was like, I will be doing this forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely made a weird stamp on me, because I did like army stuff, but it was like the only boy that was not an army man, because it was also like, George W. Bush was president, like post 9/11, and it was like very military focused as a nation, and so every boy wanted to be an army man. But yeah, did you want to be an army man? Yeah, it's like.
No, I mean, I'm one of those, I could be a meme that's like, what if you drafted girls, like kind of thing. I would be so useless. And it's kind of funny because, I mean, obviously, like, I'm a yoga teacher. We'll talk about that.
Yes, we will get to yoga.
So I'm like crunchy granola, and I believe in like energy.
Dude, hell
Energy.
yeah. Seriously.
And so my boyfriend has like a gun under our bed for protection.
Full of energy. This gun is full
and
of
he
energy.
was like, I need to teach you how to shoot it in case somebody comes in. And I was like, honestly, I just don't want to absorb that energy. And he's like, that's insane. Like, you're actually a crazy person. And I fully am. But I also kind of feel like, and I always have said this, well, I'm just like really going in on this show, but I'm not afraid to die in the sense of like, if someone came up to me with a gun and they were like, you have to go to a secondary location with us, I would be like, kill me. I mean,
yeah, like,
because it's not my problem. If I'm dead,
I've had this conversation.
Cares?
I've had this conversation. I'm just like, I think I'm dying there. Like, I think that's where I die.
Yeah. Like, what's my best case scenario? I get shoved in someone's like shed in their backyard for 4 years. And then it's like,
and I'm top choice meat. Like, what are they going to do to me once they get me there?
Oh,
like they're
about to breed you.
I mean, they put me in a Hawaiian shirt and
you know what? That's why you had to stop wearing them.
Dude,
they were
seriously,
like, he's too powerful.
my mom was like, he is a target for predators. Like, we got to put him in some army clothes.
Dear God, let him blend in. People can't see how bright he shines.
Like, his cheeks are way too big. Oh, God. Hopefully he grows out of those buck teeth. It's like, nope, never did. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't even remember what started that.
So, okay. So that was the gun was when you were a kid. The energy. So we're up to high school.
Yeah.
We'll just move on.
We can move on. Yeah. I really didn't do anything impressive from K through
like
6.
What were you interested in as a kid?
Oh, I'm very glad that you asked.
Okay.
Again, I was like a deeply weird little kid. And so I was
it's all relative.
Yeah, it is. But I was really into fish, and I love fish.
That's fucking weird, bro.
Well, it's a whole rabbit hole. So I was really into fish, but I also was deeply into like giving them characteristics. Like, you know that TikTok where it's like William Dafoe, and he's like, he's very interesting. It's like me describing my cat.
He's gay, but he's, he's
that
artistic.
Was me with these fish.
Yeah.
And so, but I had like a mechanism for naming them. I named them after old jazz singers. I'm like, I was such a deeply strange little kid.
I see skies of blue, red roses too.
I loved them. I'll never forget though. It was like I had started to kind of be like, maybe I need to get away from this fish thing.
Did you have a lot of pet fish?
Yeah, I had like a 20-gallon tank in my room.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
I had no friends. Like, what was I doing on the weekend? I was just feeding my fish.
Did Finding Nemo like blow your mind?
I've never seen Finding Nemo. I'm not really like a Disney gal, which is crazy because
if I didn't care about messes, I would have done a spit take. But I do care about messes.
Which is crazy also because if you remember AIM, I don't know why this was, and this is deeply traumatizing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't share this if I was at gunpoint, and somehow
I've got it out of her.
Yeah. Didn't take much. It's been like 10 minutes, and here I am, like, my most embarrassing secret.
Don't forget, we're all heightened characters on this show. None of this is real.
No, this is
all
like
a simulation.
Yes. This is not me speaking. My AIM screen name growing up, it's so embarrassing. It was Mickey Babe, which, like, why would those two things coexist? One. And two, like, I had never been to Disneyland. I don't really care about like Disney movies. I never did. So I don't know why I like hyper fixated on it. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like my hypothesis was I think other people liked it. And I was always trying to figure out like, what do other people like so that I have something to talk to about with other people.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's the story of my like 7th through 12th grade journey. And really at the end of 12th grade, I was like, fuck it. People don't like me anyways. So why am I trying to figure out what, like,
Yeah.
who cares? I'm just going to like what I like. So
My AIM screen name was Army Man, not gay Hawaiian guy. I was just trying to fit in with the bros.
It was so convincing. Yeah. Yeah.
So your family let you on AIM? We could not get internet out where we lived.
Our internet was so shitty, dude.
So bad.
I was like one of the only people who still had dial up in like the 2000s. Like I couldn't do homework at home.
I'm right here.
Okay.
No, it's like
it was me and you then. We were the only two, but like it didn't stop me. I was so tenacious. I was like, I don't care if I have to sit here for 20 minutes to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
I'm going to post a deeply depressing away message so that people know that like I'm dark and special.
So were you on there a lot?
I'm trying to think like when that really stopped. I was on it at the height of like when everyone else was on it. Like I feel like intermediate school, that was like AIM vibe. But That's
so funny because me and my friends, we were not, no one invited us to this.
I would have chatted with you.
We were doing something very different than talking to girls.
I feel that. I mostly was just talking to other girls. It was like you would get home from talking all day at school and then you'd be like, hey, what are you doing? As if you didn't spend all day together.
See, that's something new to me is like what did you guys do?
Yeah.
Because we would just like get off school, go to each other's houses and play. Back like in intermediate school, probably Halo 2, and that was literally every day.
Yeah.
So I guess that is different.
I don't know because I didn't have friends.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. And that's why I needed AIM because I was like desperately seeking connections. It's like actually sad, but because people would go over, like girls would go over to each other's houses and they would get on AIM together and they would chat boys together. But I was never invited.
And it was always about boys?
Oh, I mean, pretty much.
Man, that's
like,
so interesting.
We couldn't be interesting.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, that's so true because everything.
You couldn't be interested in things because it wasn't cool.
It wasn't cool.
Yeah.
And, like media and films, they were like, all you do is talk about boys. Yeah. Like that was literally
and
what you were told.
And weight loss and makeup and like, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like, not to get on a woke soapbox, but I do feel like my personality got like really washed out in those. I mean, I did it to myself, but I wanted so bad to have friends and to like fit in. Yeah. And so I just stopped liking anything. And I'm like, that was probably why it was so bad for me. I like stopped giving myself permission to like
like things.
Yeah.
If you could go back and give yourself, like, if you could just like go back, like, you're reaching through a portal and you can like hand little Emily like one thing. Yeah. What would it be?
I don't know because I really feel like you couldn't pay me enough to go back in time. And I've been through therapy now. Oh, shout out Dr. Goonan. You need a reference in Houston. Hit me up. But I have thought about it before and I don't think that I would be tough enough now to like go back and do it because it was so like people were so mean to each other back then. And like now I have the luxury of like being very in touch with like my compassion and like my sensitivity and stuff. But I mean, even like my dad, he raised me to be like a tough. And that's why I needed the therapy. But yeah, I don't know if I would I don't know honestly if I would survive it if I went back as who I am now because I just feel like I had to be tough and I had to kind of like put aside who like my nature because I just needed to like be able to get through every day. Which sounds so dramatic. Like it really wasn't that bad.
No, but hey, yeah. I mean,
I feel like if I could tell myself anything, it's just like it's okay to like things, and it's okay to like things that other people don't like,
that are weird,
and it's okay if people don't like you. Yeah, and I think that's my biggest life lesson is like senior year, that was like really for me, was when I was like, you know what? Y'all don't like me anyways. I've done everything. I've done everything to try to make people like me, and you don't. So like, what am I trying so hard for? I'm just going to be myself.
Hell yeah.
And,
so
yeah.
what was like the first like not even rebellious, but like thing you did that was like, no one would approve of this?
Yes.
What was that? Or do you not? Do you know what it is?
I don't know.
Did you get a wild tattoo or
no,
like?
I wish. I wish. I'm like much
too. Did you smoke a cigarette?
I've actually never had a cigarette, but
dude, they're pretty. So I'm not advocating for smoking cigarettes.
Ever heard of lung cancer?
So I don't smoke, and I really don't like. I don't dislike people that smoke, but I don't like it as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
But I have smoked a couple of cigarettes in my day, and it just is so cool looking.
That's the thing, though. It is so cool looking. There's no, like, vaping doesn't look cool.
I think it looks dumb as fuck.
You freaking rip like, you're outside ripping a cigarette. Yes. I'm like, man.
It's like, impregnate
cool
me.
Girl energy. No, I didn't really, like, do anything that rebellious. I think it was... like just kind of deciding like I don't care to pretend anymore. And I really wasn't around that much senior year because I had early release.
Nice.
And I had dual credit. So some days I showed up late. And my first period after dual credit, I was an office aide. And they had way too many that year. So I was in some
so you're doing the cush jobs.
Random teacher's classroom. So I only was in school senior year for really like 2 or 3 classes. So I don't think people really saw that much of me. And I think that was my like rebellious thing where I was like, I don't want to be around. I'm not going to be around. So me and Tori, like we dipped out of school. We were like never in school. Shout out. It was superb. And actually, I thought about it in I don't remember which episode, but you talk about how dumb China Springs dress code was. And I was thinking about it in that episode. There was one day senior year, I showed up with like, you couldn't even have like a little scratch in your jeans.
Dude,
and
it was insane. In the era of like distressed, messed up American Eagle jeans.
You couldn't buy jeans. No. And like even like the cuffs, like you couldn't have the cuffs around your jeans.
Not unless you got them at Cavender's Boot City.
Yeah. And it's like I was stepping on my jeans. That was not, it wasn't the era of like the ankle cut jeans. Like you wanted your jeans to hit the floor. And I remember there was a certain school administrator who is well known for record scratch. Everyone in China Spring knows who we're talking about. But she pulled me aside and she was like, you know that your jeans are not in dress code, like whatever. And I said,
hit you.
Yeah. And at that point, that was like the time where I was like, I know now that I hold more power than I ever thought I did. And I was like, listen, I have 2 class periods that I have to go to today. And my house is in BFE. Like it's going to take me 30 minutes to get to my house and then 30 minutes to drive back. At that point, I will have been in class for 15 minutes before I leave. Yeah. So I was like, so you either grant me a free pass to skip the day or you deal with the jeans.
Hell yeah.
And she was like, well, don't ever wear those again. I was like, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. The jeans were insane. Boys' hair was insane. Shorts length for girls was, I remember being, I don't know if it, how did you feel about the shorts thing?
I have really, really long arms and always had really long legs.
That's
so
right. If you have long arms, you're screwed. Because
I could never wear shorts.
So for those that don't know, the rule was, and I think a lot of schools did this, but like let your arms dangle by your side. And if your fingertips were past your shorts, they were out of dress code. And I'm wearing shorts right now that would have been out of dress code. And like, I don't know. I was just like, yeah. And then like, it was like, and then they would, cheerleader.
And their excuse is like, oh, it's so distracting. And I'm like, you know what's more distracting? There's someone in this class saying they're a Wiccan. Like with their Wiccan icon, whatever, like all their shit out on their desk. I'm like, how are my shoulders a problem?
That is
confused. I mean, I'm no hate to Wiccans. Like,
I was like, we did have
No, and I loved that episode. Honest, like, swear to God. And I look back now and I'm like, man, I wish I would have been better friends with people like that, because I'm like, fuck it. Like, you're interested in something that is interesting to me.
Right. Like, because I think you felt like you had to play the game.
Totally.
And I think you probably played it pretty well.
Thank you. I think a lot of people think of me differently than I think of myself back then.
For sure. And because like if I definitely got a lot of shit from guys, like a ton of shit, which when I look back, I'm just like, dude, that's amazing, like comedy fodder. But during that time, I was like, this sucks.
See, I don't remember that. I always feel like you were so cool and like in with everyone and making everyone laugh. Like, my perception of you was like,
oh, Emilie. Oh my God. No, a lot of it was like, if I was in a class, or like if I was in a situation with like a bunch of there were like some jockey dudes that really liked me, or like really thought that my vibe was funny, and I was like, cool. But then there was like this other section that was just like, dude, you are and I can't say it. I was like, I'll have to bring Mitchell on for him to say it for me. But over and over and over. And that was insane. That was just like a crazy thing for me to like feel and whatever. So
what part of life was that? Like, what grades?
All of it. Probably like all the way back to the Hawaiian shirt.
God damn it.
I mean, like if the second I chose, because in 6th grade you choose choir, band, or what's the other one?
Because you were in choir, right?
Yeah. And
I'm remembering this.
Yeah. So I went choir right off the rip, and there is a great, easy, low-hanging fruit name to call somebody.
Totally.
To call a boy that joins choir. Again, I'll have to bring Mitchell on for him to say it for me.
My boyfriend was in choir, and because he's a great singer.
Yeah. I loved it, but like it was literally, you took like you had to like do like a bleed to like
blood in, blood out
to like
that bitch.
you were taking an arm off to do it socially. Like, it was so insane. Like,
good for you though. Like, you knew who you were, and you were like,
well,
I'm gonna sing.
I also could not afford an instrument.
Brother, you and I have that in common. I wanted to be a drummer so bad.
Dude, me too. Drumming looked so cool. Like drumline, all that stuff.
Yeah, no, same thing. It was like the instrument thing. And I was so afraid to be so bad at something and for people to know. And they like ranked.
They did the chairs and all that stuff.
And I was like, no, I'll be in choir and I'll like sing quietly. Yeah, I'm not even a good singer.
We were in choir together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we went.
Until we had to split.
Yeah, they did like the girl guy split. I was in choir, but mostly because you had to take something.
You have to take something. Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, why didn't I take art? Because I like art, but I think it was also just like I'm like a master of none. Like I'm okay at everything, but I'm not supremely good at anything.
Well, I've seen pictures, but I haven't seen. We can get into this now. Like, I haven't seen the yoga stuff. Are you really good at the yoga stuff? Because we don't know that. We didn't go to school with you when you were doing yoga.
Yeah, no. Technically, like in yoga practice, nobody is like good or bad at it, because yoga,
it's a participation.
It's literally a participation. But that's but I am like, that is the way that like my body moves. So like I was in dance in high school, and I wasn't necessarily like a great dancer, but I'm really flexible. I love music. Awesome. And I feel like that was like always, I was like passable at it. But yoga for sure, like I found it, I was like really looking for like exercise that I didn't hate.
Yes.
As I became like a young professional. And Tori had actually taken a hot yoga class and was like, I think that you would really like it. So I went with her, and it was like the first class. It just something like clicked in my brain, because I have like a really I have like an inner monologue that never stops. I don't know if you have that.
For sure.
Yeah, my brain talks to me all day long. It's like that was the first time in my life where everything like got kind of quiet, and I was like, damn. It's also insane though, because I like hot vinyasa and I teach hot vinyasa power yoga, which is like you're in a room.
Yeah, break it down. Vinyasa. Okay, hot is you are literally cranking up the whatever.
You're in a room that's like at least 90 degrees in heat and
loosens you up.
Yeah, and high. That's exactly the reason why.
Nice.
And high humidity. So like the whole point is that you're like really sweaty, and it's also like for people who have a hard time like meditating or whatever, it helps you lock into your breath, because if you're not breathing in that room, you're gonna die. It's so
nice. There's like a risk element.
Yes,
oh my
yes.
gosh.
So
this is what you're talking about. Just like I'm doing something dangerous.
Yeah. Rebel. But yeah, and I like walked into that room and it was like hot and sweaty, and the music is turned all the way up, and it's like neon lights, and like, you know, it just like spoke to me, and my brain was quiet for an hour, and I was like, this is my shit. This is what I want to do all the time.
Do you like the sorry, the people, like, does the people draw you in, or is it just the feeling?
That's a good question, because I'm the kind of student who like I'll follow a teacher. There are a bunch of different kinds of teachers and stuff, but if I really like someone's like vibe and music and like the way that they teach their class, I'll follow them. But really, like, even if, because like I'll go to classes sometimes where I'm like, I don't really care for that teacher. I don't really care for that like flow, that music. Ooh.
A yogi.
Yeah.
And we're all yogurts.
We're all yogurts here.
But you're aren't you a teacher?
I am a teacher. Yeah.
Okay.
I started teaching officially like a year ago, but I've been practicing. That's what they call it. That's like the woke term. I've been practicing for like 9 years. So.
Oh man, you're practically a Jedi master.
Yeah.
Are you a Star Warsy person?
I like Star Wars a lot.
You don't even have to. You can say
no,
you hate it.
I swear. There was a point in time where my parents, I don't know, you sound like you were a latchkey kid. Like you let yourself in the house and your parents didn't come home for a while.
So it was really funny. Latchkey meaning like yeah, my dad would like he gave me this key when I was like 10 or 11, and then he just let me into the house, and then he just never came back.
He went out for cigarettes
for the rest of my life. So in that regard, yes. Yeah. No. My mom would let me in every now and then. No. Not really. I was really indoors. Mikey, he was on the show. He would come over a lot back then, and we'd run around.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom was very protective because we were her only eggs. But you know. But anyways, yeah, huge Star Wars people.
Yeah, my little brother was into Star Wars, and there was like a period of time where I was like alone at home with him a lot, and so he and I got pretty into it together.
Oh, that was our favorite thing to do.
Yeah. Summer
break, we would wake up and just start Star Wars and just like watch it, have it playing all day.
Yeah. And I am a big I like movies and like and books, but always like escapism.
Yeah, you know, for sure. It has to be like real is cool. I like a good heightened reality, like where it's just like, okay, this is based on something, but it is just clearly the stakes are raised for the purpose of this movie. Yeah. It has to be kind of like that. If it's too real, I'm like, yeah, I've got enough real shit going on.
I'm like, I'm living this. No, thanks.
Please take me somewhere else.
Yeah. I couldn't appreciate The Office for a while because I like worked in an office environment and I had kind of like a quirky boss at the time, and I was like, this is not funny because this is happening to me.
So when did you start The Office? Because The Office was like when we were
so I didn't watch it. My family didn't have good TV. I don't know what they call it, cable, whatever.
Dude,
we had like one of those notch TVs that you had to like crank.
I've never had cable in my life.
Yeah.
It was like I can't remember what happened. We moved eventually, and so we got internet and we just streamed things. But that was so much later. We were always the rabbit ears, and
Yep.
and people thought we like it was crazy that we still had rabbit ears. But
I had rabbit ears too. We would have gotten along swimmingly. We should have talked more.
But we were both putting on a facade for school, trying to be an army man.
Yeah, it should have been like, do you like fish named after jazz singers?
I was probably like, I was probably way too much of a ham. Like the problem with me in like school, I like had a horrible need attention, like ruined.
I don't remember you like that at all. I remember always being like, Eric's fucking funny.
Thank God.
In GT? I have like.
So me and Lucas got into this because I did not make it into GT.
Oh, okay.
Never made it. I can't remember why. We literally talked about this hasn't aired yet at this time, but for some reason I never got in. Not saying I'm so smart that I should have, but no, I tried, but I can't remember what the process was that you got in, and I never did it. I never got in, and because me and Josh has been on the show. Me and Josh were always like,
He wasn't in it either?
No.
God, in my head, you guys were both there.
No, because we were like, we liked the dumb fun stuff more. Like we like, even when it got to like dual credit and all that stuff and college prep stuff, we were like, oh, we are faking this. Like, like we were just like, we are really good at Halo and not this stuff. And then when I met Mitchell in high school, like school went out the door. Like we were just like, so we can do bits for the rest of our lives. What?
So fun to find a person though that you're like,
oh yeah,
fuck it, me and you, we're gonna ride forever,
dude. Literally.
Yeah, because I think that's also like something that like senior year, that was when Tori and I really like became best friends, like officially, and it was like once you have someone that you know is gonna like think everything you do is funny, be like, dude, you could kill someone and I'd still stand behind you. Like,
it's like, I'll help you bury the body.
Yeah. Like once you have that, it's kind of like, oh yeah,
it's a different world.
I don't care about anything else actually, because this is who I am and this person likes me, so fuck it.
100% a different world. And the laugher that like you first said, that somebody that laughs at everything you say, like having that. I'll never leave you. Like whatever. Like if you are a good laugher, I'm like, stay. Like I'll pay you. Like like it's like, stay here, please. That matters a shitload.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like it was just something that like clicked when Mitchell and I met, because he was a grade below us.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole thing, and it was all because of theater and all that stuff. Like. So it just clicked, and the grades, because I always was like really trying to like do the grades thing and be at the top of the class. Yeah. And then that just like, I was like, I am more of a, I didn't even know I was more of a art side than I was faking the grades to like get myself out of a financial hole that I thought me and my family were in. Like, I was like, I got to do this for school and scholarship.
You're like one of those like kids who's like, I have to get to the NFL, buy my
literally
mom
like,
house.
I gotta save my family. Yeah, no, that was literally me. Yeah. I was like, I gotta get us out of here.
That's
Mom.
so sweet.
Gotta get us out of here. And then the dad comes back. He's like, hey man, can you spot me a couple bucks? Fuck you, Dad. I can't wait for him to come back.
He's actually next week's guest.
Dude, oh my God.
How wild would that be?
That would be insane. It would be insane if you listened to this. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Shout out.
Not actually, don't shout him out.
No, as I was like making that joke, I was like,
you don't deserve to be shouted out.
Yeah, that might be a little insensitive, Emily.
Okay.
Eric's like, so she's never coming back.
He's like, get out.
No, please.
Okay, so we were talking about yoga.
Yeah.
We keep You can't. You keep.
I'm a yapper. I
you keep
told
taking
you.
me down these taking me down these paths to like emotions. And, it would be interesting. So can I come and because I got to go down Houston, right?
Yeah.
Because I got to go down and see Jen's dinner theater
Yes.
murder mystery. I got to go see that. Can I take a yoga?
Yes.
Okay,
Anybody who wants to take a yoga class, come get a free class. Yeah.
What?
Mm.
You want to plug the studio?
Yeah. My studio is really, really great because the studio that I teach at is actually a donation-based yoga.
What?
And yeah, it's really cool because yoga, as it's been westernized, is, it's like white women who don't have jobs, going in the middle of the day, like kind of thing. But yoga is it's so good. It's something that like every single person can do. The practice of yoga is like actually just putting breath to movement. So even if you're like, oh, I'm not flexible, like yoga is for everyone.
Right.
And my studio takes that really seriously, and I love that mission. So the really cool thing about my studio, Black Swan, I mean, I don't own it, I work there, but the studio that I work at, Black Swan Yoga, they have branches in all throughout Texas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston. And their mission is to bring yoga to everybody, no matter what their like financial situation is. So you can literally come
awesome.
in and pay $1 and take a yoga class.
That's awesome.
And it's so cool. It's so like worthwhile.
Yeah, because I definitely, I mean, I definitely viewed it as like a richer person, like a upper crust person to enjoy. But so I got a few questions about yoga.
Yeah, hit me.
What do you suggest? What do you suggest for chubby guys doing yoga? like what are some pitfalls I'm gonna run into here?
No, I like this is. I don't know. This is the part of the podcast people are gonna be like, "Ooh, she's woke," but like yoga's for everybody. Yoga, like it doesn't matter if you're like super in shape or not, because one of the things that made me fall in love with it is that it's not like instructors who are like drilling you and they're like, "One more push up," like I hate that shit.
Yeah,
it's like in yoga, people will literally be like. One of the ways I start my class is by telling everyone, like, you've already done the hardest part, which is just showing up.
Right.
So whether you choose to lay here the whole time or you want to flow with me, like you've done it, and congrats, because just taking like an hour for yourself is really tough. So I've had people come to my class and they'll like flow, they'll do the flow for like 15 minutes and then they'll lay down on their mat for the next 45. And I'm like, hell yeah. And I've done that too. Like, I'll show up to a class and be like,
I could lay on a mat for a while.
Yeah. Well, and there's all kinds of yoga too. So like my studio is a vinyasa based studio, and vinyasa practice is like a flow based practice. So every movement kind of like starts the next movement. There's a bunch of different kinds of yoga, but in that it's really cool because you can also most of the time teachers kind of pattern their classes like they'll construct a flow of like 10-ish poses, and then you'll repeat that flow to varying degrees 3 times. So if like you want to do the first flow, but then you're like, man, that was hard, I'm done. You can like lay down for the next 2. But there's also like chill, yin, nidra. It's like all the same thing, but it's all kind of what people I think traditionally think of as yoga, which is like laying down and breathing and like moving in weird ways. And that's a really cool thing to do if you're like not a great meditator, but you still want to kind of like get that feeling.
Right.
One of my favorite teachers calls it adult nap time.
Hell
it's really cool. So I really like those kinds of classes for just people who are trying to like find a connection to yoga, because everyone feels good after leaving a class like that.
Yeah.
There are also like beginner classes if you just want to like try something where you're like, I don't want to look stupid, I don't know any of the names or anything.
Right.
A beginner class is great, but I'm always like, fuck it. If you show up, that's half the work, and you can decide what to do or not to do. Like I said, I've been practicing 9 years, and sometimes a teacher will cue something. I'm like, no, I don't think I'm laying down for this part. I'm not into it.
So, okay. Yeah. I mean, that gives me a lot of, so in theater in college, one of our professors, and he was actually on the show, he wasn't on the video episodes. We didn't have it quite ready yet, but he is he calls himself a yogi,
Mhm.
and he was very, I don't know all of the specific terms, but he was very he incorporated a lot of yoga into his acting classes and everything. We did a lot of yoga to prepare for
Cool.
things and
Yeah.
to calm us down. So I definitely loved it then. Did not keep up with it since,
Mhm.
but I would love to get back into yoga
Yeah.
for sure. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, I gotta ask a funny question. What 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 would be the best position? What would be the best like yoga pose for showing whole?
I mean, down dog for sure. Like that's 100%. Well, and it's funny because in like,
like you just spend so long just like, this is awesome. It's like it's really wholesome, and I
Yeah.
just ruined it all.
No, ruin it. That's what the people want. You're giving the people what they want.
Oh my gosh.
Some people didn't even make it to this point, so shout out to the people who did. They were
Literally.
waiting for this laugh.
I know, literally.
No, down dog. And when
Okay, so down dog, that's, I mean, basically.
it's like inverted V shape. Just
show them with your hands. But what about if I want to like,
mhm.
I don't know. What if I want to get it to the sky?
Well, that's you just gotta get a better down dog.
Oh, really? Okay, so
yeah.
Show. Well, don't show me.
Show me.
No, don't show. Never mind.
Okay.
I guess with my hands.
Now I leave.
Yeah, I was like, sorry.
Like, so down dog is supposed to be like an inverted V shape, right? And so it's like, as you get to be like a more advanced practitioner, your belly can come like a little bit closer to your thighs, and like you can like lift a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's like, I mean, there's a ton. There's a reason why everybody is like, oh, you're a yoga teacher. It's like,
really?
I'm
There's a
not-
stigma there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, like maybe I'm sexy. Answer in the comments.
Yeah, leave it.
This is a thirst trap.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, please.
it's
Please,
like
please
hyper up.
validate me.
Hyper up, please.
No, but people will be like, "Oh, it's like sexy," and I'm like, "No, I'm so sweaty. Like nobody is looking at me like,
I know.
wow, the teacher is hot." The teacher is hot as fuck, but she's
It's
sweating buckets.
I'm literally sweating buckets right now. It was hot as hell in Texas.
It's so hot right now.
Oh my god. So I just haven't got my core temperature down from the day.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah. So I would definitely be interested in the hot yoga, but do you bring I guess everybody brings their own towel.
So yeah, no, the cool thing also about my studio is you can rent a mat, a towel, all the stuff's there for you. So yeah, if you have nothing, you can literally show up with nothing but like, I mean, mat rental is $5, but you can show up with $6 and take a class with everything you need.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you said Black Swan Studio.
Black Swan Yoga. I teach
Houston.
Yeah, I teach a 6 a.m. ass kicker. So if you're like, if you're new, maybe.
Okay, so tell me about your job. Tell me about this jobular you got.
My salaried position.
So
yeah.
Do you want yoga to grow into?
No,
you want it to be.
I like that it's. I mean, similar to. I mean, you and Jen talked about this. Jen's getting so much airtime on this podcast.
I know.
You can tell I'm a fan. I think it's really cool to have something in your life that's not like, oh, I need this. I need to do this for money, but it's just like kind of. It's fun. Like I make money doing it, but not a significant amount. And some people are like yoga teachers full time, but that's never really been my ambition.
Right.
Because I don't want to ruin it. Like I don't want to have to do it all the time.
It starts to become once your hobby becomes work, then you might hate the hobby. Yeah.
So I still love it.
Yeah,
and
podcasting is great. No, it's so awesome.
He's sweaty.
I'm dying over here. Luckily, the air just kicked me.
But no, I never really wanted it to grow into like a full-time gig. I loved it so much, and I wanted to bring that to other people. And so yeah, but no, my full-time gig, I kind of fell into it. I wanted to go to law school actually. Yes.
Lawyer.
I was so ambitious.
Mhm.
But I started to get kind of cold feet because I wanted to be a lawyer, and I also had like a financial situation I had to be mindful
Sure,
of.
sure.
My
Yeah,
family didn't have all the money in the world.
100%, 100%.
um, I was going to graduate a year early, so I was going to graduate when I was 21, which I look back and I'm like, Matt was too young, and somebody should have intervened
Oh
because
wow, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I did. I was going to graduate when I was 21. I was on track for it. And I thought I wanted to go directly into law school. And I kind of got cold feet. I had a really great mentor at the time. And he was kind of like, well, if you want to cool your heels somewhere, I know somebody looking for like a year-long temp. And I was like, cool, that sounds great. I can stay in the Houston area because I kind of fell in love with that part of the state. And I knew I wanted to stay. And so, yeah, I took a temp position. Working for city government, but in a division that was becoming what I work in now, which is travel and tourism. And so I just kind of fell into it. But I'm like rare in the industry because most people don't start their career in travel and tourism. It's like
Yeah.
something that a lot of people find like later in life. So I've been really lucky. I've worked for some like really cool places, worked for some really cool clients, and
Yeah. So you're telling people why they should go somewhere?
yeah, I am the person, when you get an ad pitching you a vacation, I'm the person who placed that ad and I helped the destination figure out like why they're special or why you might want to come.
That's sick.
It's a cool
So
job.
what would you say about what would you say like okay, what would be what do you want a city
hmm
to have? Like what is like just like if you have this,
Yeah.
I can sell it.
You know, honestly, I feel like I can sell anything.
Right.
No, but there's something special about everywhere.
I can sell anything. I can sell this pen.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Sell me this pen. No, I feel like there's something special about everywhere, and I think that's also another cool thing about the last two roles that I've taken on have really been because I worked for like a single DMO, which is Destination Marketing Organization. So I worked for like a single city for the start of my career, and then I moved into kind of more like agency style tech partner role. So I got to work with a bunch of different destinations, and the really cool thing about that is like learning what's cool in the middle of the Midwest and being like, I would have never considered coming
I was
here.
like, no. Yeah, I was like,
But
I
like
don't
this
know.
is fucking cool, actually. You know, and so I think like there's not really anybody who I'd be like, oh, I would never work with them, because I think there's always, even if the audience is small, like there's always something that somebody would want to do somewhere. And I think that's like, it's cool to find that and be able to like put that in front of the right people.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool, interesting job because I wouldn't have even, that was not on my radar.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was like literally a chapter in a textbook, and they only talk about Visit Florida because like, I mean, obviously everybody knows like, oh, we have vacation in Florida. But
you're right.
tourism actually is like the lifeblood of so many destinations. And during COVID, a lot of people realized that because there was so little economic. This got really boring. Sorry, everybody. They're like, Eric, get her off her job, please. Anyways, that's what I do for work.
Dude, awesome. I think that's cool because when you told me, because like I was, I didn't know, and when you told me, I was just like, oh, that is really cool. But that's awesome. That's super cool. Yoga. Well, I think it's time we get down to a little bit of the brass taxes. You're new to WIMP Nation. Do you have a story about a bad first impression?
Yes. And it's so fortunate because we talked about so many of the threads that are going to pull into the story.
Oh my God. We're going to put it together.
Yeah. That's my master plan. No, I think I make a really shitty first impression in general.
Same.
I'm not somebody who like people are like, oh, this girl, no. But especially as a little kid, as we have previously established, and I got put in the GT class, but I don't remember how that happened.
Right.
I think I was just like a pain in the ass kid. Like
I think they just go around and are just like, she's cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I really think that's what they did, but I can't remember.
Yeah. So I was brand new to this GT class. This is second grade. And
wow.
Yeah, so it was my first day in GT class. And they had us in the room of a teacher who was really mean. And there was a rumor that she was a witch.
Whoa.
And that
the teacher?
Yeah, the teacher.
Trying to, without saying who that is, I'm just trying to think of who
we'll name drop later.
We'll do it off pod.
But yeah, there was a rumor she was a witch, and they held GT class in her room. So I went to her room, and it was a different GT teacher than, like, the witch wasn't the GT teacher, but we were in her room. So I am sitting there. We're waiting for the teacher. Because this was like an extracurricular kind of class. So the teacher came to us. So it's a bunch of us sitting there, and I didn't really have any friends back then. Like, I knew some of these kids, but we didn't go over to each other's houses or like, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, and this teacher walks in, and she's got really short curly hair, wore a ton of makeup, and she walks in, and these kids know her. Like, I came into GT like halfway through the year or something.
How we said it, GT is gifted and talented.
Yeah, good explanation. Yeah,
it's
gifted and talented.
Gifted and talented.
But it's really just a place to stick all the kids where they're like, they're annoying in class. Like, they're causing problems. Yeah, I think in second grade, I read like 140 books, and they were like, please get her.
Whoa. It's like somebody put a leash on her.
Yeah. So this teacher walks in, and she has really short curly hair, and she starts being like, well, what does everybody think about my haircut? Does everybody love my haircut? And so every kid in there starts to be like, it's so pretty. You look so great. And I was honest to a fault, like very deadpan. So it gets quiet. Everybody finishes giving her these compliments. And I say, you look like a boy. And she goes berserk. Like, her skin peels back from her face. And she's like, who are you? Get out of this class.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh. And at that point, I'm like, oh, I fucked up. Like, that was the wrong thing to say.
Like, she's like, what are you doing? I fucked up. Like, just like second grade. Just like, I fucked up.
Yeah. And so she's like, she kicks me out of class. I start crying. She's like yelling at me in front of these kids who, like, again, I was always trying to be friends with people. I I could never feel like I was getting there. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all my chances have just gone out the window. So I'm like crying, and I'm trying to explain. I'm like, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to know. That didn't help my case.
It's like, I thought you wanted to know the truth.
Yeah, I'm like sobbing my eyes out like little second grade kid. Yeah, she kicked me fully out of class. I tried to come back in a few times because it was a full class period.
Right. So wait, so they kicked you out of class? Where were you?
I was sitting in the hall crying.
Jeez.
I know.
And they just let you just sit there and cry?
Yeah, and it was
hilarious.
It was the last period of the day.
That's insane.
She didn't even say bye to me. She let all the other kids out, and she walked the other direction. And it was like school pickup was right after that class.
She just sprayed you with mace. Just get out of here.
So I go out to car pickup, and I'm like still sobbing because I'm also convinced that this witch teacher is going to hear about this because it happened in her classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom picks me up. She's like, "What is going on?" I'm like, I told her she looked like a boy. And my mom is like a real ride or die about this kind of shit. Like, she wasn't a helicopter parent, but she went up to the school the next day and was like, this is bullshit. If you ask a second grader how your haircut looks, like, just be ready.
You are asking, like, you are under fire. He was like, how do I look in this dress? I was like, you look kind of fat. Like, it's like, who, like, you
want, ask an honest question, get an honest answer. Man. And then I had to be in GT. Obviously, I had to be in GT all the way up until middle school. I begged my mom. I was like, please get me out of this class. By the time, because this teacher hated me. The vitriol she had from me from 2nd grade to 6th grade is unparalleled.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So the bad first impression is you.
Yeah, it's me. You'll have to ask Lucas about it. I don't know if he remembers, but he probably remembers the GT teacher. I don't know if he remembers how much
I'm sure.
hate I got
I'm
from
sure him or Harrison or somebody that was in GT
Yeah.
like remembers. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. That's that's awesome. Yeah, like whenever I started asking this question and coming up with like this question for the show, I was like, oh man, all of my stories are me. Like I was a humongous asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yep.
It's a shame we weren't better friends, Eric.
I know. Yeah. No. Definitely. Like we definitely missed out. For sure.
We like missed each other, but
yeah,
I
I
think it
was
would've
just
been
you know a Hawaiian shirt in the night, just passing, sailing away. Okay. The other big question from the show: do you have an impression
yeah.
of a character, an actor, somebody in your life, a celebrity that you like to do?
I'm not very good at voices, but the one like little thing that I'll do, and my boyfriend will kind of like fill in the blanks for this, is something from Harry Potter. And it got like kind of it went viral like a few months ago on TikTok because it's Harry being like, it's the chess scene in the 2nd movie, Chamber of Secrets.
The big chess
scene. That's the first movie.
That's in the first one.
Sorry everyone.
Oh my god, we almost cut the feed. It's like, we'll edit that out. We don't want you to look.
So it's Ron being like, when I make my move, then you're free to check the king. Ron, no! What is it? He's going to sacrifice himself. You can't. Do you want to stop Snape from getting the stone or not? I think I said that when that went viral a million times. And it's not even good, but it's like, it's in my head on repeat.
When I make my move, you're free to check the king. Ron, don't.
No. What is it? Also, this is from the 2nd movie, when he's writing in Tom Riddle's diary, and he's like, do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah, dude. When he says anything,
yes,
that's like imprinted in my brain.
Yes.
Anything.
And then Tom Riddle writes back no, and he's like, oh, well, forget it.
Yeah, like, it's like, all right.
This is who the fate of the wizarding world was resting
playing hard
on.
to get this book.
Harry Potter was like, oh, well, then I give up. What a fucking idiot. Ask a follow-up question.
That's pretty good. So you're a big, aside from not knowing where the chess scene was.
I'm never gonna live that down.
So are you a big Harry Potter?
Yes.
Person?
I not like in a weird way, but
I feel like we definitely crossed streams on elementary school. Like there was a certain section of like a group of kids that you could clock that like, oh, they're reading Harry Potter already.
Yes.
And I feel like I recall you and a few other people that I like, I'm not gonna name, but like I was just like, well, yeah, okay, we're all reading Harry Potter at I would say an early age.
Yeah. Oh, I loved, especially the books. My
not having internet really.
Having internet.
You will
dial up.
You will read Harry Potter. And I bet there might be some like data on like early dial-up days and like kids reading Harry Potter. Like so before, like if we had internet, we might not have.
Yeah.
If we had.
Yeah, if I had internet, I would have been a vastly different person.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I loved Harry Potter, and I still do. I'm really bad at like TV. I can't.
Bad at TV, like you don't follow it.
When
like you
people are like, "Oh, you have to wait for episode 8 for it to get good," I'm like, 8 hours for it to get good? That's fucked. I'm not gonna sink that much time into something. So
I'm with you there, though.
Anytime people are like, "Oh, you have to watch the show," I'm just really bad at that.
Yeah.
But I love movies, and I will especially like I'll put on the same movie I've seen 4,700 times, and like just.
What's your go-to?
I mean, Harry Potter is a really good one, but
Sure.
I love
Do you have a runner-up there?
I love all those movies like that, like Hunger Games. I'll watch. That's like a good disassociate movie for me.
Mitchell kept trying to get me into Hunger Games, and like I appreciate it, and I think it's so cool, but I just didn't buckle down and read the books, and that was
the books
my
are
bad.
so good.
Yeah, that's my bad.
It's this girl with PTSD, and it's like the two male leads are like, so do you like me or no? It's like she is going through it. Okay.
Were you a Twilighter?
No, I read the books because I just like books. That is my thing. I'm not very good at TV, but I will read anything that you tell me. So I read the books, but I knew it was like, this is a little cringe. And like this guy, I just was like,
I'm gonna suck your blood later.
I think I knew enough at the time of being like, this is a red fucking flag that this girl is like, oh, I'm gonna date this 1,000-year-old. Like that's, and he's like, oh, I'm watching you sleep. Like it was weird, and it was.
Can't wait to rip into that flesh. Like it's so weird.
It's so weird.
I couldn't get on board.
Yeah, I read the books, and I'll still rewatch the movies and stuff. But like,
the movies are
think
hilarious.
It's so fun. Where you been, Loca? Like, oh, I would die to see that for the first time again.
I just saw a TikTok of like somebody went to, there's like a cafe where she's like shaking a bottle of ketchup, and like there's no way she's getting ketchup out of it the way she's like, and she's like, and then like lays it back down, and then they're just like pretending like she dipped it in. No ketchup happened. Yeah. So funny.
When you watch that movie back, it's like, oh, and all their food is like directly on the cafeteria table. What?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh well, that's so the real ones now.
Yeah. Okay. You had questions for me.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to steal that away from you.
Because I'm a wimp. I'm a follower.
A wimp.
So you and I both are. We have like long-term partners. Your wife.
Yes.
I've been with my boyfriend for 8 years.
Yes.
And one of my favorite things about being with someone for that long is you like develop little bits with each other.
Absolutely.
That like maybe other people don't get. So I love to ask like longtime couples, like, what's your bit?
So this is a good question. And it's really fun to get asked questions because it puts me on the spot. Let's see. One of them is like, the worst ones, because they're hard to pin down, because like a lot of the time we will be referencing like a single line from like a trash reality show that we saw like last week.
Yeah.
And then we will ride with it forever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you want me to go first?
You go first,
okay,
please.
I'll let you think. One of mine with Brooks is and we really kind of stole this from Tori and her boyfriend, so shout out to Tori and Tyler. But if like one of us walks into a room unexpectedly, like if somebody's doing and like you just like walk in, the other person will put their hands out to the side with like the back of their hands facing to the front of the room and say, "I froed up," like a little kid.
I froed.
Like a little kid walking into a dark room unannounced and be like, "I froed up." That's one of our bits that we'll do with each other, and that's a classic Brooks and Emilie bit.
So definitely. And I feel like this is a phenomenon maybe with our age people, the little kid voice with each other, because we definitely do that. And it is like a little weird. But whenever we'll talk about each other away from the other person, and she'll just be like, or me, Mito. So bad. Because it's like they're talking about me. It's like me though. Like you like is it me though, or is that what you're talking about? But it's just like a little kid voice, like me though. And we're just kind of smirking. A me though. And she does it all the time. Like she'll just like sneak up and Mito.
That's a great one.
She's gonna kill me.
I love that. There's one that we have that Brooks was like, you cannot tell that one on there because it'll
some of them are just too
some of them are deep cuts.
Too deep cut. Yeah, they're real deep cuts.
Yeah. When you've been with someone for 8 years, you gotta like develop a language.
I have to tell her sometimes. I was like, Maddie, none of these people get this reference. That was like a reference like between us like a year ago, you know? Like, what do you do? Like, and she was like, no one laughed at it. I'm like, yeah, because they weren't in our bedroom watching TV.
Yeah, it's not me and you.
Yeah, it was like we're not the only people in this TV show called Life.
Tragic, honestly. It'd be better if that was true.
Yeah, it's like no, we're the main characters. Yeah, everybody gets our references.
It's just me and all the people that I like, and who laugh at my jokes.
Do you ever get down the like NPC rabbit hole, like where everyone else? Okay, cool.
Of course. Yeah, like I said, there was one thing where I told Brooks, I was like, oh, I'm gonna, like, Eric's been with his wife for as long as we've been together. Someone asked this question. He was like, well, what's your answer gonna be? I was like, well, I have a few that I'm gonna toss. And he was like, don't use that one. He's like, people are gonna like, no. Like, I can't even say it. Yeah, like I said, I got told not to use it, which he's right for. No. It doesn't shine the best light on him.
Right.
He's a great partner, but that's not a good joke.
It was, it's something I have to keep to myself.
Yeah, Eric's gonna be like, "Are you okay though?" After this?
Blink twice.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else to share or ask or anything before we sort of wrap things up?
I just have some like highlights from the shows that I've listened to.
Oh my gosh. She came with highlights?
Jen, I thought was so funny. I mean, that pod was so good.
It's a good one.
Jen is just so fucking funny.
It's a really good
one. Josh, I messaged him after one of the pods to ask, like, I need to know who your mortal enemy was.
It's a funny one though.
Yeah, no,
it's like a
that's exactly what it's like
we're all
me.
Best friends, but like they've always had like a pissing contest.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, I would have been more funny if it was like for real.
I know. I kind of do need to ask him who his real mortal enemy is.
Yeah, he wouldn't tell. I mean, we're not close, so he of course wouldn't tell me.
He just snaps a table like when he's like, I don't think I want to answer this, bud. I was like, okay,
I'm done with this. I loved Ethan's episode because it was so like beautiful and raw and so different.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about him. I was not I was gonna dude, this guy's gonna be crazy, you know. And he just like he threw me a curveball, and I was like, whoa, dude. So I need to have him back for the video.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna reach back out to you, Ethan. He was a great guest, and I was just like, huh.
I watched his episode. I travel a lot for work, obviously, and I tend to watch or like listen to the pod when I'm like in transit. And I listened to the episode when I was driving back from somewhere. I can't remember. And I remember being like, damn, like this was not what I thought it was going to be, but it was so it was so beautiful. And I thought both of you guys like really shined in that.
Thank you. Go back and listen to all of those episodes. Please listen to them multiple times.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please. Oh my God.
And then, I mean, I can't not reference all of Mitchell's episodes because I laughed my ass off and just like loved it.
Dude,
he's so, and you guys together are like just magic. Like you can tell that you guys are just.
His time is coming back.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's a little foreshadowing for sure because he's got to be here for the video. Yeah, and if there's any motivation to like and subscribe, if you liked those episodes, I can do more and more. Like even with adding the video element, I can do more and more with each one. I don't have to be sweating if I can upgrade more and more, as the thing, as the whole show grows, I can do more with people and have like, just as things grow. So yeah, please follow, like, subscribe, whether it be YouTube. Actually, just do it on all of them. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We have a very lively Patreon now, and it's very fun. I always have to shout out Britta for holding us together on the Discord.
I love her so much. She and I talked about this pod, and both of us were like, "You have to go on." No, you.
Yes. So yeah, she will. Yeah, she'll be down the line.
I'm anxiously awaiting.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. But yes, please do all of those things. Rate 5 stars. We can. Who knows where this can go? Emily, did you have a fun time here today?
I had the best time. I hope people liked it.
Is there any question, like, is there anything that I missed that you wanted me to ask?
Oh,
because there's some things I definitely skipped, but you can.
Is there anything that you skipped that you're like, oh, it's a shame?
Okay, well,
because I feel like I talked a lot. I know that's the whole point, but I'm like, was it?
So the one thing that some people have told me is like, why didn't you ask me that? Well, so now I'm kind of having to make it like a routine question. If you were in a Hunger Games style 50-person randomly selected 18 plus battle royale, you get one weapon. It has to be melee, can't be ranged, can't be Katniss, bow and arrow. It's got to be in your hands. What weapon do you choose?
A gun, and I would shoot myself.
It's not you can't choose a gun.
Okay, well then, I mean, I'm hardcore enough to be like a knife, and I would slit my throat
You
first.
wouldn't even try?
No. Eric, did you not listen to the beginning of this episode when I said I would never even care to go to a secondary location? Like,
I guess I love like video games so much that like my whole like, I would just die kind of stops when there's like a fun game to be played, which is kind of fucked up. It's like, no, if I get to kill people for like points in a game, sure.
Yeah. No, but I wouldn't be like a good killer.
Would you?
Other than like
you could hide.
I would be.
Like,
I would be like a good like sneaky character, but I would know
a rogue.
I would never. I love characters like that. Anytime in books that there's like a shadow hunter bullshit, I'm like, fuck yeah,
shadow hunter bullshit.
Yeah, and I want to be that so bad, but
you could have like a little knife or like some. You could have
If I'm like cosplaying, for sure, I'll have a little knife and like a cloak.
Cosplay.
Yeah,
just cosplay. What would you cosplay?
Real life hunger. I always tell people like if there was like a nuclear event or something, I want it to land in Houston. I want it to be on my house because I don't want to walk away from it.
No, you have the post-apocalypse. Like that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Post-apocalypse.
We didn't even get to aliens.
Oh yeah. What do you got about aliens? We can keep going. I was just gonna try to send you on your way, but yeah, what do you got on aliens?
No, I mean, I have so much on aliens. This is the kind of thing though that like I'm sure other like people who know me well would be like, don't say that.
No, do
but
it.
I kind of
what do
feel.
You got?
So this is my hypothesis. Everybody weigh in on the Patreon.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like the reason why there's so much confusion, and this is not me throwing shade on anybody's religion, so please don't cancel me, but the reason why there's no proof of like religious shit is because aliens and angels are the same thing. We're coming from a different planet to this planet. I call the theory Other Earth.
I'm kind of with you. I was just like, like off the pod, I'm fucking with you. It's like on the pod, it's like anything's possible.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm totally fucking with you right now.
I want it all to be real. I want it all to be real for everyone's sake. But like, if you're asking me my personal feeling on it, I'm like, God,
if you got something you're hoping for. I
hope you get it.
I hope you get it. But
me too. Me too.
I'm pretty sure this angel is an alien with a gun, much stronger than our earthly guns. What would you do? Like, do you think? Like, how far does that theory go? Because now we're diving down it. If so, do you not think that like aliens are inherently violent? You think they might? Oh, okay, yeah. Interesting. Because obviously Hollywood is just like, they're trying to kill us every single time.
I love the hypothesis that aliens drive past Earth and lock their doors because like our planet is crazy.
It's like there's don't look over there, honey. They're playing loud music.
Scary over there. They're not nice to each other. FYI.
I was like, oh, this neighborhood's got bars all over their windows. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think aliens are inherently violent. I think that it's like more likely that they're just like a different energetic life form. And I think that it's likely that there is like proof of them, but in a different way than what people assume. And that's why there's so much debate about both aliens and religion.
That's sick. So if you were, okay, for funsies, if you were to compare, like if you were to give us a Hollywooded example, do you have one?
Of like what they look like?
Like, yeah, what they look like, or like what you, like, is there a movie or a TV show that's like, hey, it's kind of like, I'm talking about like, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because there might not be. Because Hollywood loves like a, Hollywood loves
I can't
like
think of one off the top of my head. I mean, Scientology is like closeness theory. I'm not a Scientologist.
I was just like, dude, I cannot wait till she leaves.
Brooks is always like, you can't tell people about Other Earth. They're going to think that you're a Scientologist. I'm like, that's fair.
But isn't...
Scientology is way more crazy.
It's
like,
way, yeah.
And I'm the kind of person, I believe like everything's a little bit true. So again, not hating on anybody's beliefs. You're probably right. I'm probably wrong.
My problem with Scientology is like, I'm such a ham and like desperate for attention that if Tom Cruise like asked me to do it or be a part of it, I'd probably be like, I'm in. It's like, I'll change everything about my life for you, sir. Which just shows how wishy-washy and
you're someone who can be relied on.
I have no foundation or backbone. I'll just like wink at everybody. Like, don't worry, this is not.
Yeah, this is a bit. It's a bit.
It's a huge bit, guys.
Everyone's in on it, especially Tom.
He's like, dude, it's a hilarious bit. Honestly, the best bit of all time. But okay, that is so interesting. We'll have to talk because Curtis, I don't know if you know, like Curtis comes in and
I listen.
Insists on talking about aliens every time. But I don't, it's not that I don't believe, I find it all very interesting. I don't open my mind, I think, enough to like to listen to it, maybe. That's just me.
Yeah.
That's because I'm a fucking clown. Like, I'm just like, where's the funny part?
Good for you.
Like, where's the funny part?
I'm like 3 a.m. I'm like, is it a simulation? Are there aliens?
No, it's like me at 3 a.m. is just like, maybe nobody thinks I'm funny. Like, I'm just like, and I cannot sleep.
No,
it's
I
like,
have that too.
I only got like 5 likes on that post.
Yeah. No, I'm like, everyone hates you. Everyone secretly hates you.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it's aliens and that?
Yeah, that's all.
Are you kind of hoping that like aliens like you?
No.
Everyone show her some damn love.
Yeah. No, everyone's like,
show her some damn love.
No, I think that's just like most people though. Like we're all just desperately trying to like connect with each other.
Yeah.
To circle back to yoga.
Social media has screwed that up with like the competition thing, comparing everybody to each other.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I'm like the kind of person I leave a party in at 3 a.m. I'm like, oh, that was a dumb joke. That was a bad joke.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
I have like that kind of anxiety. That's my brand of anxiety.
Oh, man. 3 a.m. party. I'm leaving like, it's like, those were all bangers. Then like 5 years later, I was like, oh my God, what did I remember that one time I said this and she did not like that. like that was fucked up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's my level of anxiety.
Oh,
so if I've ever said anything that you don't like, just know I didn't mean it like that. Think of my second grade teacher. So sorry.
Ditto right here.
We've all had bad haircuts. Not your fault.
Constantly. All right. Well, I don't want to waste any more of your time. This was awesome. This was an amazing episode. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Please Follow. What is your Instagram handle?
I'm electric.emily. Yeah. And
E-
only follow if you like me. If you have nice things to say, then follow
yeah,
me.
dude, I've got some haters. It's so funny.
Do you?
Yeah, I got a few haters on TikTok. It's
Shut
hilarious.
up.
It's
I'll block 'em.
hilarious. No, they're comments, so
Fair enough.
it's interaction. But no, I love haters so much. But anyways, yes, and it's Emilie.
Yes.
Emily.
Yes. Electric.emily. Name is spelled a little weird.
And go take a yoga class from her.
Hell yeah. And
You
let
might
me
see
know.
me there.
Yeah. If you want a free yoga class, hit me up. I'll hook you up.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming. This was awesome. First time here. Worst impressions. Signing off. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Rate 5 stars. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. And good night.